Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here tonight, Stars and Stripes series with the INDYCARs at Iowa for the Iowa Corn. I don't even know what it is, Christian. What do you know?
I could figure it out, but you know what? It is definitely corn here in Iowa.
Yeah, there's all kinds of corn. You know, I've drove through Iowa a time or two. It is a neighboring state here in Illinois, and it's true, Christian. There is nothing but corn everywhere.
This race is actually the Iowa Corn 225 here tonight in the INDYCAR. It's, from the fields to fast speeds. This is where small town roots meet big time racing. Welcome to Iowa Speedway, everybody.
That's going to be a good one, and it is official. No surprise here. Quick time, Kyle McCoy, top of the board. The number 7 machine going to kick off from our pole tonight. But it is about time to get gridded up and rolling here with the Stars and Stripes series. Here in the IndyCar is going to be a good one in front of a sold-out crowd under the lights here in Iowa. Of course it's sold out. There's nothing else to do in Iowa. Why wouldn't you be here? But ladies and gentlemen, let's get it started. Let's get some music playing in the background. It is time for Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's starting lineup here at Iowa with the Stars and Stripes series. On the front row on the inside, in the pole position, the number 7, Kyle McCoy. On his outside, the 08, Alex Lafoti.
Moving on row number 2, you find Chad White in that 36. Beautiful Hutchinson Motorsports machine. 2 is outside Zach Christ in the number 9 from GWC Racing.
Row number 3 on the inside is the GOAT in the number 05 machine. It's Scott Rickard on his outside, the 44, Kyle Bowling.
Moving on back to row number 4, you find Zachary Nelson in the 07 machine. 2 is outside William Duff 4 in the 17.
And a roll back from there in the number 9 position in the 77, Larry Griffin, the 3rd on his outside. In the 24, it's none other than Brian Lynch.
Moving on back to row number 6, you find Chris Esser in the 91 Red Snapper Racing. And 2 is outside Nate Lynch in the 25.
In row number 7 on the inside of the number 54, Andrew Hess on his outside, the 41, Michael Kurzelik.
Back to row number 8, you find Brian Lynch. In the 3, Aaron Hale to his outside in the 4.
Aaron Hale jumped up leaps and bounds in the HMS TV power rankings. He's going to look to continue his momentum as we jump back here to row number 9 in the 46 machine. Jason Gratton, the 97, DJ Weeks.
And back to row number 10. Took us 10 rows to find any BCI guys. Brian Samar in the 53 and Aaron Popper in the 63. They are smooth.
Well, there's another slow one in the next row. Starting 21st, Brian Burchett in the 33, and the slug himself, the 93, JT Tinker.
Keep an eye out for JT Tinker. He's definitely going to junk it tonight. Tommy Osborne in the final row, last place, 23rd position in the 55.
Yeah, Tommy's got some work to do. He put down a real stinker in qualifying. He's going to start dead last. But, Christian, we are in front of a sold-out crowd here in the Stars and Stripes series. We're back in the Indy cars here. Boy, it's been fun this season, rotating the cars every week, and it's good to see them back on these open-wheel machines at Noval.
Definitely so. IndyCar Oval, probably one of the more dangerous sides of racing, but we're willing to sacrifice some lights here tonight as Space Car's off.
Pace car is off. Field is set in front of a sold-out crowd here in Iowa. Green flag in the air. Stars and Stripes series, they're junking it. Oh, you got airborne!
We got a car over. Brian Lynch is involved. I just see carnage everywhere. You got Brian Lynch. You got Aaron Hale.
Oh my gosh, I don't know who went airborne there, but let's try to find this replay here. Oh my, who is that?
That is the... Yep, it's Aaron Hill in the 4 car.
Yeah, 1 second. So let's pull up our driver details here. Let's rewind it a bit. The Colesburg, Iowa, he didn't last long here at his home track, Christian. Let's hop on board here. with Aaron Hale. So here, he's lined up ready for the start. Going into the zone in front of this sold-out crowd. He even leaves a big gap in front of him. Never saw the car in front junk it. He just ramps the guy in front of him. He's junk.
Ramps it over. He didn't care about safety. He just wanted to get this race underway. He just drove over that guy.
Look at this,
dead, folks.
Look at this big gap here, Christian. He left like a 2 to 3 car length lead here. And look, a car spins right here, and he never even sees them. Just keeps it forward. Wham! Runs over the top of him. And who is that he just ran over, Christian?
That's that blue car, right? I can't really.
Who knows? All I know is Brian Samara was involved in the wreck as well at a Kannapolis. Well, said he wrecked.
It's like the 41 is the car he ran. That's Michael.
Christian, stop what you're doing. You need to see what just happened here with Brian Samara. He just pulled a, who did that? Scott McLaughlin, I think, or I don't even remember his damn name. In the Indy 500, the guy that spun out before the race started. We'll take a look at Brian Samara.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, let's see that in slow motion, folks. Make sure everybody gets eyes on this greatness we've just seen. So here's Brian Samara. You know, caution's already out, by the way. Here, let's slow it down here. So there he is. He just randomly hooks it right, throws a slide job, can't overcorrect it. 53 car is junk here under caution.
This seems like a very Brian Samara thing to do.
Wow. Never seen anything like it. But everybody just junk it and take a look. Look at, hang on, let's pull that up one more time, Christian. Look at this. Wow. What a graphic.
That's nothing there.
That is honestly incredible. But Alex Buffoli, your race leader now, as we got a handful of guys junk. Christian, do you have a report of all the guys involved in that wreck?
I do. Give me 1 second to get that pulled up, Blake. I am a little unprepared tonight. You know, you made me get my own plane ticket today, and I flew Delta Airlines, and let's just say that they were absolutely horrible and almost didn't get me here. But your junk report is Brian Lynch, Aaron Hale, and of course Brian Samara wanted to join the fun after the wreck. But of course the 41's going to have some damage also because he was the ramp.
So Michael Kurzalik, he got ramped there. He must have fixed that thing up because his back wing looks all right to me, Christian.
I bet everyone involved in that wreck definitely had to use their one and only faster grid that they have here tonight at Iowa in the IndyCar, because these cars, you know, they're fragile as glass. You know, one small bump, you look at them wrong and they're junk.
You know, we couldn't even get to turn one before we junked it the first time. Let's see if we can get a smoother start this time around. We're already 5 laps into this thing. 225 laps here in front of this sold-out crowd. But let's take a look at our wonderful Hutchinson Motorsports TV chat. See who's out there. I'm sure Connor Gerard's chatting, isn't he, Christian?
You know it, Connor Gerard, the GOAT, always here. And Brian says passing is hard.
Well, hey, Brian.
Driving straight is too.
Yeah, Brian. Apparently you can't even drive straight, but you probably shouldn't be in the stream chat while you're out there wrecking.
No. You know, and speaking of wrecking, you know, he might have got free on that one, but do we think JT Tinker's going to finish this race clean tonight?
There's not a chance, Christian. I'm surprised he wasn't involved in that wreck. How did he avoid it?
You know, usually he'll intentionally turn into somebody to get into a wreck. Especially, you know, is that his teammate? He's not safe right now. Green flag in the air. Wow, single car racing really throws me off.
Yeah, single file restarts here in the IndyCars. Things are looking good so far. Nobody has junked it just quite yet, but give them some time as we are pretty well spaced out through most of the field. We got a little passing going on in the back.
You know what? They should start doing 3-wide restarts. This single file restart's just kind of boring. We got to spice things up a little bit as we're on board with Hutchinson Motorsports TV driver Chad White.
Wow, these are some beautiful views. That Hutchinson Motorsports TV number 36 IndyCar. That is the best car in the business, Christian. We have cut no expenses on this car. And we got some battles right behind them between Kyle Boland and Scott Rickard.
Definitely an intense side-by-side battle there. You mentioned we cut no expenses on the car. Something we did cut is Chad's salary until he starts performing better.
Yeah, you know, it's been an off week or two for Chad. And, I told him to report to my office last week. Well, he never showed up, so we instantly lowered his salary. And, folks, he's racing for pennies out there.
Matter of fact, there's a clause that if he finishes outside the top 10, he owes us some money.
That's a good thing. You know, Chad can hardly read, so we can get him to sign anything we want.
Alex Buffoli out there on screen as we see Michael coming down pit road. He thought he'd pit during caution, but I guess not.
Yeah, he thought he got that
What
car.
you seen out of Ryan Lynch?
Yeah, let's see. Ryan Lynch, you know, he's kind of a back marker here tonight, sitting in the 13th position. But he started in 15th, so he's gained a couple spots. He's going to try to get to the front. But I'll tell you, somebody who is hard charging the front, Brian Burchett, he started back in 21st. Christian, he's up to 10th.
He probably had to dodge that wreck and gain a few positions that way.
Absolutely, and we go back. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, everybody that was involved in that wreck lost 3 laps. So even though you have fast repair, staying clean is crucial.
Well, and look at these views there on the walls. Hutchinson Motorsports TV. We got some cameramen right up against the walls. They are in between the wall and the fence right now, Christian. I'm not sure that this is even allowed, but we're doing it anyways.
Why wouldn't it be? I mean, these cars are known to, that ain't our problem.
And you know that front stretch cam we just saw? That guy is actually on the fence, Christian. I bought him one of those carabiner hooks, and he's hooked onto the fence, so it's perfectly safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, car to the head. I mean,
well, boy, Alex Buffoli, I tell you what, this guy can't speak English. He can only speak Italian, but no shocker here. He's good in an open wheel car being from Italy. Don't forget about the GOAT, though, Scott Rickard. I tell you what, anything that has 4 wheels on it and a motor, Scott Rickard's going to be competing for the race win.
I hear Scott Rickard's going to be competing in the local lawnmower race tonight after this race at Iowa. He's racing a lawnmower.
Well, that doesn't shock me. You know, I'm sure they needed a driver, and they said, well, we know there's one guy out here that can wheel anything. They went with the GOAT, Scott Rickard, but we dropped back a little bit more here. JT Tinker Christian, after starting 22nd, he is up to 12.
No. You must be looking at the wrong guy. What? You're right? 12? No.
He is on.
Substitute driver.
He is on the move here. Look at this right rear suspension cam. JT Tinker, that's a good-looking paint scheme he's got. Liquid death. You know that stuff is not good at all, Christian.
I've never personally tried it, but to me, if I wanted some water, I'd buy a bottle of water. I don't need canned water. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, honestly, it's worse than water. But here is Aaron Poplin. He's cruising. He's a spot behind JT. He's got the boss man in between the two. So 3 BCI cars bunched together, but Samara is multiple laps down because he decided to junk it.
We see Aaron making the pass on his lap there right there. And, you know, Brian, Samara is actually a horrible. Have you heard how he treats his drivers?
It is not very nice. That's why JT Tinker doesn't show up to half the races. Well, how about Larry Griffin III, though, Christian? He started up in the 9th position. Well, he's running 16th right now. I think Larry Griffin, the 1st and 2nd, are not very happy with the Cornelius, North Carolina, Larry Griffin III.
No, I actually heard that Larry Griffin II was going to come and attend this race tonight. I also got word that he's already gone. He's seen all he needs to see.
Christian, I can confirm. I can confirm he actually rolled in a little bit late. You know, the green flag was waving and he's just sitting down. And then he looked up after the caution and saw Larry already dropped back like 7 spots. He said, all right, let's go, honey. Him and his girlfriend, they headed out.
They're heading on back to Cornelius, North Carolina, which has recently had a population boom. They are up 1.5 million people. I wonder why.
Well, Christian, I'm sure it has a lot to do. We gave him a big shout out, and we actually mentioned, you know, it's a pretty nice looking area. And then after that, property value soared. Larry Griffin, he's thinking about selling his home because he would be making millions on the deal.
Yeah, he might be investigated for fraud, though, because he had something to do with this.
We jump up here, though. Kyle McCoy, boy, we're already coming up on some lap traffic here, Christian. Look, here's your race leader coming up on some traffic. Here's the cockpit view, kind of hard to see in here, as their head's a little bit too high for us.
Take the camera on his head too high. You should have put it right in front of him, right in front of the visor. He didn't even need it.
Well, good thing I taped one up here a little bit, so this is a much better view.
You didn't tape off the air intake, did you?
No. Oh, yeah, actually, I think I did.
Oh, well, his car is going to blow up here soon, but we're not going to tell him that. random engine failure for Alex later on in the night.
I'm kind of surprised how much throttle these guys get around here. Kind of sounds like, yeah, he's flat-footing this thing around here at Iowa.
Alex Buffoli has balls of steel. He lifts for no man.
And sitting in third, though, Zach Kreitz out of Denver. He is running good. He's teamed up with the Grattons. And we always know Todd pops in the chat, roots for Zach a little bit. We know deep down, Todd Gratton wants Jason or Josh Gratton to win the race, not Zach.
We know, you always know who people's favorites are. If someone tells you they don't have a favorite, they're lying to you.
Every single time, for sure. But here we're running pretty clean so far. We had that pile up on the start where we're here on lap number 30. Going to be interesting to see when these guys got to come down pit road. We know these Indy cars don't hold a lot of fuel, and I'm not sure if we're doing 100% fuel in these or not.
We can try to take a look at that and see if I can confirm.
And while you do, I do remember, you know, when obviously in Indianapolis, a much bigger track, but when I was at Indy, I don't even think the cars could make it 30 laps, 100% fuel. So obviously Iowa's smaller, so that's going to mean, you know, these guys aren't going to be able to go too much longer, I would assume.
Well, Blake, if you read the rulebook once in a blue moon, you'd see that they actually are at 100% confirmed.
I kind of figured, but so I'm guessing, you know, by lap 50, I would expect them to need to pit, maybe well before then. Actually, we already got the Grattons down pit road. Not sure if that was. Oh,
he's jumped,
that's
so.
why. That's why. It looks like both Grattons. There's Jason Gratton. Trying to find the other one here. I don't know. It said he went. Never mind. It was just Jason. Yeah, just Jason Gratton. He junked it. The left front is torn up. Gonna try to get that thing fixed. As Alex Buffoli continues to hold off Kyle McCoy right behind him on the bumper. And then right behind them, Zach Kreitz, top three. Here's Rickard in fourth, and rounding out the top five, Chad White trying to pick things up here. Those were blocked. Oh, that's a dirty block. He's trying to junk him.
That was a dirty block indeed. And I'm seeing what Ryan mentioned earlier, that you just simply cannot pass here. You can see that clear as day.
Yeah, you know, it's one groove track, and these things are hooked up, flooring it on the bottom, so I don't really see how you can pass unless you just get a hellacious run and kind of dive bomb somebody.
Definitely pass somebody at like 3 seconds.
But here's JT Tinker in 11th. Right in front of him, Brian Burchett. He's in 10th. So Burchett started 21st. Tinker started 22nd. Here they are, up 11 spots, both of them. Boy, and how about this guy right here? Boy, talk about a wheelman right here. One of the best in the business. Aaron Poppin. This guy just is incredible.
Everything he does 100%. And that includes his anime obsession. He loves some anime.
Well, I tell you what, Aaron Poppin, that is all he talks about. You ever talk to Aaron, he's going to talk about anime at least, probably for about a half an hour the first time he meets you. You're trying to leave, and he just won't let you leave. He keeps interrupting you while you're trying to leave, keeps talking about anime, brings up a new one that you never heard of, and you're like, Aaron, I don't even like anime. He just pretends you didn't say anything, keeps going and going. It just doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop indeed. I actually met him at the racetrack, and the first thing he says to me is, did you see that latest episode of One Piece? And I'm like, what's that? Turns out it's a horrible TV show, I might add.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, but I think we got what you were saying there. And is it true, Aaron, he brings his own iPad to all the races so he can keep watching anime during the race?
Not only during the race, but you be standing there talking to him, and you hear in the background, well, you don't understand it because it's in Japanese, but constantly 24/7 anime watching.
Man, but Zach Nelson just gets around Chad White, takes over that 5th position. Which, you know, I'm kind of glad because we did actually put in there, if Chad gets a top 5, we owe him $20. So I'm kind of glad to see him drop out of the top 5.
Yep. He right now he's going to get paid only a couple of cents, but he drops out of the top 10, he owes us money after that. Keep that in mind tonight as the race goes on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you know, after this latest contract, I'm kind of rooting against Chad because we can become very, very rich men As looks like Rickard is struggling. He might have gotten in the wall. He might have some damage. Oh, and then it looks like another one into the wall. I think we're seeing some tire fade in here, Christian. These guys aren't able to stay flat foot. So we saw Rickard get into the wall, then we saw Nelson get in the wall. So keep an eye out here. It's going to be interesting to see these guys starting to get a little bit tight.
Nelson about got a lap full of Chad right there once he got into the wall. Chad had to do some amazing action.
Now for second here, side by side, McCoy underneath Kreitz, and Kreitz going to take over the spot.
Tire right now. He says, "Let's go. We got to get in the front."
I think he saved a little bit of tire. You know, IndyCar's not like NASCAR, not about saving a ton of tire. But Kreitz has done something to make those tires last a little bit better, it appears, because he looks like he's on the move right now.
I bet when it comes to this short Iowa track, I bet tire saving's going to be key tonight. I mean, you just running fast for these cars they got the aerodynamics to be glued to the track, but at what cost to the tire?
Ryan Samara is done. He pulled it in the pits and he towed it.
He is now 7 laps down, so we know he used the fast repair earlier, so the team owner of BCI just decided to head on back to his RV and watch his other 2 drivers, which he hates.
You know, Christian, Brian, honestly, it would have been a much better decision just to stay at home, because you not only, finish this race early, but you also embarrassed yourself on national television, spinning out under caution.
And, not only national television, but the #1 TV channel, Hutchinson Motorsports TV.
Yeah, and honestly, not only national television, but international television, because as you know, Christian, we've had viewers from Chile, Brazil, UK, and hell, we had a guy from Denmark, I believe, in the Hutchinson Motorsports TV Dash for No Cash. He popped in here from Denmark.
Denmark, indeed. We are worldwide. You've heard of Mr. Worldwide. We're more worldwide than him.
Connor Gerard in the chat says Chad might have to win to make a statement. Well, we hope not, Connor, because we might actually have to pay him if he did.
And just to make him race, we actually had to we knew he'd read his winning, so we had to put a decent number in there to keep him around. Let's just not talk about how much.
And I'm not going to lie, when I picked that number, I was like, well, he's got no shot at winning anyways, so I didn't really care. I mean, I would have put $10 million. It looks like he's making a move.
Right here. Yep, he's going up there. But they're about to junk it right here. I think it's going to take a small slip of the wrist. It'll be over for them.
He needs to throw a slide job is what he needs to do. Slide jobs work great in IndyCars.
You know what? A side slap would be even more.
Boy, the GOAT Scott Rickard's kind of struggling right now, dropping back to 6th here, trying to get that red 05 machine going. Let's see when these leaders start pitting, though.
It's funny. You mentioned pit stops. Yep, I think these pit stops are going to actually be few and far between the 100 laps. 100% fuel.
Well, again, these things don't hold a ton of fuel, so it's not going to be crazy, but my guess is it's going to be at least a 2-stopper for sure. Maybe a 3rd stop, but at least a 2-stopper, which would put us around, I don't know, 75, 80 maybe, which I don't even know if they can go that far. So we'll have to wait and see when these guys start coming down pit road. Haven't really seen anybody pit other than those that have crashed. But Rickard continues to fall. He's back to 7th. Poplin gets around Tinker here. He's up to 11th.
So the IndyCar tank roughly holds 18.5 gallons of ethanol. So that maths out to 60 laps, and 60 to 65 laps, which we're right there. So anytime now, like you mentioned.
Well, I'm going to ask our research assistant, how many laps can an IndyCar go at Iowa Speedway? Let's see if our assistant can get this done quick for us.
I already asked him. That was that answer.
Oh, okay. Looks like our assistants already came out with that, so let's see how this plays out. I would assume we're going to start seeing some guys come down pit road. And it looks like our leader, Buffoli, actually starting. Well, is he pulling away? Oh, wait. Yeah, he's still pulling away a little bit, but he just got around some traffic. That cost him some time, so he's up to 1.2 seconds almost as he continues to try to get around some lap traffic. As Kreitz is in second, McCoy third, followed by Nelson and White to round out your top 5.
Have you ever heard Italians and their pasta? Do you know what happens to an Italian when you break the pasta?
No, I don't. We got one in the wall stopped.
Oh,
Not sure who that is.
there he is. Is caution going to come out, or do we
Yellow
just not
flag
care
is
about
out.
it? Oh, there it is. Andrew Hess. Just,
Wonder if
Junked
JT
you
Tinker
tonight.
junked him.
I mean, probably.
No, it looks like he was on
I
his
bet
own
he
here.
was thinking about his wieners. He was thinking about his wieners into the turn. Getting down the backstretch, and he's just going to get into the wall here.
He just doesn't get down to the apex. Car pushes straight up the track. He smokes it. Right front's junk. He just leaves it in the wall, which is a smart thing to do. You turn down the track there, and you got some guys probably taking a ride into the grandstands. I see. There's a bunch of guys are crashing. Oh, they stopped for the pace
They're
car.
probably checking out for the pace car.
Yep.
Yeah.
So caution comes out. You know, honestly, perfect timing. These guys all need to come down pit road. So basically, the whole field coming down pit road. The guys staying out are all a lap down. So here's the whole field. Foley and Kreitz were your race leaders. But let's take a quick break here. You know, we haven't had a break yet. We're here on lap number 65 by Hutchinson Motorsport TV, world's #1 streaming service. We got a couple messages for you we're going to play, and we will be right back here. We are at Iowa at night, sold out crowd with the Stars and Stripes series. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at Iowa. Field is set.
flag,
Pace
green
car
flag.
is in. Green flag in the air once again as Foley takes us around.
There goes Foley, fast as lightning around Iowa here tonight. Blake, have you hung out around the track? How is this town?
Well, you're really using the word town loosely, Christian. I'd call it a village. This place kind of a dump.
Yep, but they'd surely like to talk about their corn here, don't they?
Yeah, that's all they talk about, corn, and I swear, these guys, they really praise that kid, the corn kid from TikTok. That is all they talk about. That guy, that kid is a god here in Iowa.
He definitely put the little town on the map. The designer of this track, I bet you would never guess his name. It's not some random guy either. It's actually Rusty Wallace.
No wonder it's such a dump.
It holds about 30,000 people, and they probably never sell it out because let me just look at the facility.
Yeah, speaking of Rusty Wallace, I heard him this week crying, saying, the old saying how, kids these days aren't as good as we were back in the day. Basically running his mouth, saying none of them could run back in the 80s.
That's honestly, people talk about, the kids these days change it, they like it. We still have in the NASCAR Cup Series the best drivers in America all competing, and just because it's a different game these days, stop saying that. I can't hang with the people of your time. It's ridiculous.
And definitely, I feel like nowadays it's actually more difficult because they're in a spec car racing. Back in the day, you could show up with cheater equipment, top notch, and you're going to get away with it. You're going to have the best out there. It's not going to take as much skill to pull home some wins.
And look at, people call Richard Petty the king, and before y'all rip me apart, I am not discrediting Richard Petty, but he has 200 wins because he had the most money, he had the best car, and he probably was the best cheater to get away with it.
Well, Christian, you're maybe not trashing Richard Petty, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. He was racing against a bunch of bums. You're a plumber on Wednesday. You show up to the NASCAR track on Sunday, race against Richard Petty. Well, congratulations, Richard. You racked up some wins against a bunch of losers. You aren't that great, bub.
I wasn't going to go there, but I 100% agree with you. And then, people like Rusty Wallace, they raced at a time, too, where, the best cheater won. And, it wasn't about skill. These spec cars, these drivers are out there, and the skill is 85% of it. There's a big setup gap, of course. We don't see that in the NASCAR garage, but still, you can't just go out and race the same cars. That's one good thing about iRacing, is in a fixed race, everybody has the same piece of equipment and the same car they start. So you truly see in iRacing who's the better driver.
Yeah, and it's usually me when I'm out there, but nonetheless, we're looking at Kyle McCoy. He's trying to get around Zach Kreitz, and it's kind of showing how difficult it is to pass. He had a big run, got underneath Kreitz, but coming out of the corner, he just got dusted. So it's just so tough to pass here.
Even the greats like Kyle McCoy is struggling here tonight at Iowa. One lane track, but Foley is loving it.
Take a look, watch. We know McCoy's clearly got the faster car. He got up underneath Kreitz like 6 or 7 times, I feel like. But watch this. They're side by side going to the corner. He's going to be dead in the water once they come out of this corner right here. There it is.
Yep, look at that. Clears him.
Yeah, he went into the corner. Yeah, he went into the corner, almost cleared him, honestly. And then coming out, he just got dusted. When you have to enter low and come out low, here in these Indy cars, you are just toast. So Zach Kreitz, he knows that. He's going to hold on to the top, and good luck, McCoy, trying to get around him.
And it's going to be like this until these tires wear again. We had that caution timely right with the, with the pit side.
A little mistake there.
We didn't really get to see any green.
Yeah, gets a little help. Kreitz got in the wall there. Yeah, Kreitz skims the wall a little bit, gives him a run. But we figured he'd get around him eventually because he pulled up underneath him, a handful of times. Finally gets the job done. He definitely has a faster car, but now he's got to get to work here on your race leader, Alex Buffoli, who's led, I believe, every lap so far.
The cornfields to the chaos that this race is bringing. Look at Alex Buffoli go.
Coming up on some lap traffic here. There's Chris Essery heading down pit road.
In Italian. Well, he doesn't know what he's doing. He says it right there.
Well, we're looking around. I'm trying to find the battle for last. See which one I'm going to give it to. You know what? I'm going to give it to JT Tinker. Ladies and gentlemen, your Hutchinson Motorsports TV battle for last. We got some unique rules here. You know, he's not technically in dead last, but I always like looking at all the guys, you know, they're out there competing, trying their hardest, and the guy in last out of those guys. And I'm going to go ahead and give it to JT Tinker, even though you could argue Tommy Osborne should get it. But let's give it to JT Tinker. Hutchinson Motorsports TV battle for last. Congratulations, JT.
Yep, congratulations, JT. You win nothing but the shame to hang your head of being slow. Speaking of being slow, they're not eligible for the battle of last. Let's talk about your lap down card. In the 14th position, you'll find Ryan Lynch. He's just a lap down, so currently you're lucky, dog. Moving on back to 15th, you'll find Chris Essery. You know, I think he was involved in a wreck earlier. He's the one that just pitted, actually. You know, he doesn't know what he's doing. Then you find Jason Gratton in the 16th position, 2 laps down. So I think he might be in the same boat of maybe recently pitted. Can you confirm that? No, he's actually.
Well, remember though, Christian, he junked his left front under green, had to pit earlier, I believe.
Yep, there you go. So that was Jason. Then you find Larry Griffin 3 laps down. So he's having a kind of a sad night tonight.
We know this guy was involved in a wreck.
To see him race. Yeah, absolutely. Craig Millis just let down though. Aaron Hell.
He jumped the car on the green flag.
Yeah. He's been airborne and he's on his fast repair, so on his last leg. Sure, and the last car running right now is Ryan Lynch.
But Kyle McCoy, he's got to that back bumper of Buffoli. He's going to get to work here. We know it's tough to pass, but you know, honestly, McCoy is clearly the fastest car on the track. Let's see if he can pull out this win here. I think he's eventually going to be able to get him.
It's all going to come down to Buffoli making a very rare mistake in the IndyCar.
Yeah, we know Buffoli, he is a mastermind in these Indy cars. Something about him he is just so good at. We got Dante in the chat, Connor Gerard out there. All of our great fans here at Hutchinson Motorsports TV, folks. Be sure, click that like button, subscribe to the channel here if you haven't. Drop a comment. Let us know who you want to win it, who you think's going to junk it, all that good stuff. You're watching the Stars and Stripes Indy Iowa Corn 225. We seen out of Chad White here, Christian, currently in the 6th position.
You know, kind of just biding his time. He can't move forward. He's got a big gap to the next position right there. You could almost park 5 city tour buses in between him and the next position. So he's definitely not trying to earn his driver bonus tonight.
Well, that's good to know. And then we got William Duff, the 4th here, running in the 9th position. We believe, you know, the 3 William Duffs before him are in the stands tonight. So he's trying not to let him down as he's sitting in the 9th position.
You know, he wrecked so hard in the first Stars and Stripes IndyCar race that William Duff II felt it. So he's definitely, William Duff II is almost fully recovered from that.
Yeah, you know, I remember, you know, I talked to the doctor. I talked to the doctor there in the ER at Mooresville, North Carolina. He said the weirdest thing happened. You know, the other day, an older gentleman walked in the ER, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said William Duff IV crashed hard. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I finally understood what happened. Like you said, he crashed so hard that his grandpa had to go to the emergency room.
That's great-grandpa, actually. Yeah.
It's actually grandpa, because 3rd would be his dad, and then 2nd would be his grandpa.
Well, you see, I just don't know what I'm talking about, because apparently I can't count. Kind of like we have 14 people watching and only 4 likes. I can't explain that one either, but
I'm trying to do the math in my head. So 14 watching, and if they all like the channel or the video, how many would that be? It'd be more than 4, wouldn't it?
It would be a little bit more than 4, but less than 15.
That's crazy. So, folks, be sure to click that like button here on the video for us. It's free. That's all you need to do. But right now, Alex Buffoli putting on a clinic. He's actually starting to pull away from McCoy. We know McCoy might have used up some tires early on when he was trying to get around Kreitz. Might be hurting him now.
Maybe. But one thing I just noticed, rolling into the sky, a beautiful machine is flying above
What
this
is
track.
that?
It just showed up out of nowhere.
I just got a request to control the camera. Let's see what this is. Whoa, what is that, Christian?
Oh my, what a shot. Is that Brantley Roden? Did he make it to Iowa?
It's Brantley Roden out of nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, Harpoon Design Blimp. I didn't think he'd be here, Christian. We're in the middle of nowhere in this podunk town here in Iowa. I didn't even want to be here. I didn't think Brantley Roden was going to show up.
Well, he's here. Harpoon Design Blimp high above this track. Honestly, it makes the track look a lot better when this blimp is above it. And did you know you could get NASCAR paints from harpoondesign.com with starting at $25?
That can't be right, Christian. I've seen those paints. There's no way that starts at $25.
It is 100% facts. And also, he is the #1 painter on Trading Paints. If you don't believe me, go see for yourself. harpoondesign.com, everybody.
That is crazy. You know, and while we're still clean and green, Alex Buffoli, your race leader here, I'm going to pull something up for you guys. So here we go. Here's my screen. I'm right here on Trading Paint's website. You might not be able to see it, but I'm going to refresh. So I'm here. Show available painters, all painters on the entire website, the entire service. #1, Brantley Roden. Look at all these damn paints. How does he have the time to make this many paints? That's not even all of them either.
And not just by a little bit. Look at the follower count. 3,400 followers to 2,300 is the next guy. Whoever Brandon Dollar is, I don't know.
He looks
Brantley
terrible.
Roden is the GOAT.
That is incredible. So Brantley Roden up in the Harpoon Design Blimp. He is watching Alex Buffoli dominate this race. Kyle McCoy trying to run him down, but sitting in third. Starting to reel in McCoy. Zachary Nelson in that number 07 machine.
He kind of contacted the wall earlier right in front of Chad White, so glad to see him corrected.
What are you seeing out of the Malcolm, Nebraska native Kyle Bolin? You know, talking about podunk towns. This guy's from Malcolm, Nebraska.
You know, I'm going to do one of our Peep the Town segments right here as you keep going on. And you talk about Kyle Bolin. I really haven't noticed anything about him. Kind of like Malcolm. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I'm looking up Malcolm, Nebraska here. Population was 457.
You know, first thing I noticed is when I typed in Malcolm, Nebraska, it didn't say a city, it didn't say a town, no. It's a village in Lancaster County, Nebraska.
Christian, this place is a dump. Look at this. Look at this. This is Malcolm, Nebraska downtown, Christian. This is the city. That's Kyle Bolin's truck. Of course, they got liquor and cigarettes, Christian.
I mean, you got every small town. You know, they might have a Bojangles, maybe, but I don't know if they
not
go
a chance, Christian. They probably don't even have a gas station. That is crazy.
You know, if a town, or in this case, a village, doesn't have a Bojangle, Danielle in the chat, tell me what you think of a town that doesn't have a Bojangle. We'll wait for her response, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. I didn't expect it. I kind of expected, maybe a couple thousand people or, something small. But 457 people in the 2020 census, folks. That is Malcolm, Nebraska. If you're looking for a place to move, that is not it. As a caution is out, Christian. Let's see what happened. Chad White's junk. Oh, my, unbelievable. This guy is a joke. This guy is unbelievable. No! Oh, that's so much damage. So much.
Oh, no, watch out! He's dead! Chad White is dead!
Nate Lynch just smoked him. Nate Lynch is going to file a lawsuit now. Great. Thanks, Chad. Unbelievable.
Way to go, Chad. I mean,
I can't believe it. Folks, if you know anybody that can drive, we're looking for a driver. Here's the view from Nate Lynch. He's driving down here. This camera jumping around a little bit. If you see Chad White, spins out in that blue car in front of him. Nate Lynch doesn't care. He keeps that baby floored. Wham! Jumps him.
And now, Nate Lynch, I already got an email, Blake. The lawyers are already on the case. We are getting sued by Nate Lynch's legal team. They said it's our fault because we fielded that car.
Well, they're claiming it was neglect because we knew that Chad had little talent, and we just let him continue to go out there and put others in danger. Well, here's what happens when that happens right here, Christian.
Okay, so. And you know, Chad White's not even in the chat for us to interview him. That wasn't in his stipulations to always be ready for interview. What is this?
I've never seen anything. I've never been more disappointed in my life, Christian. But Alex Buffoli, and a bad stop there from McCoy. He almost did a Jesse Becker stop. He stopped short of his stall. He's going to lose some spots. McCoy dropping like a rock.
Yeah,
boy.
So, look at this group of cars coming off pit road. 3 wide pit exit.
Yeah, McCoy goes from second to fifth.
I didn't know Iowa was big enough.
Or second to sixth. Boy, rough stop there. So Buffoli holds on to the lead. Nelson takes over second. Kreitz in third. Bowling fourth. And the GOAT, Scott Rickard, in fifth.
Danielle comments after the previous talking about no Bojangles. She says, "Where's the chicken?" But Blake, I gotta say something. Have you ever had anything more disgusting than Bojangles chicken supreme, like chicken tenders?
Honestly, Christian, there is a Bojangles kind of nearby, but it's kind of a newer thing here, and I don't even think I've even gone to it. So no, I actually haven't even gone to a Bojangles.
Save yourself some time. It's actually pretty bad.
I'm more of a Popeyes guy myself. Popeyes is big around here.
Yeah. We have one in Wilmington, but I've also never been to it.
KFC, it used to be good when I was a kid, but boy, has it gone downhill. I'm probably never going to go to another KFC in my life.
There is honestly, and this is all jokes aside, there is not a single fast food chain that has stepped up the game. They've all went downhill.
I don't know. I would say maybe this car right here has the only one.
No, you can't count that. I mean, that's the good Lord's chicken. I mean, Chick-fil-A. I mean, they're literally goated, man.
Chick-fil-A, they're on another level. Honestly, they could probably double their prices and wouldn't lose any business, but don't let them know that.
Definitely not. And, they don't even say you're welcome when you say thank you. They respond with, my pleasure.
Absolutely. But Buffoli continues to dominate this race. We're halfway done, Christian. Over halfway done. He's led every lap so far. See if he can dominate this thing from start to finish.
I wish we could interview him, but I understand he doesn't speak English, right?
Yeah, I've been working on him. I've been here with the Stars and Stripes series. I believe this is my 3rd season with the series. And, I've just been working on little things, like yes and no. That was the first thing we got. And then after that, he's just totally lost.
Is he? That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Trying to look here. We don't have many options to interview. So we're just not going to interview, I guess. These guys don't want to be in the chats to participate in interviews. Well, so be it. Alex Buffoli, your race, they're going to take a screen. Go ahead, Christian.
Green.
Alex Buffoli, green flag in the air. Alex Buffoli, the non-English speaker, takes the green flag heading into turn 1. Honestly, we're down on car count here. Chad White, I can't believe you actually brought a backup car to Iowa, Blake. What is wrong with you, man?
I told him not to bring that because I didn't want to damage it. But here comes Chris Esser. He doesn't know what he's doing, so that Red Bull car better look out. Slide job.
He passed like he knew what he was doing there, so a taste of excellence from Chris Essery.
Speaking of don't know what he's doing, here is JT Tinker. Boy, he had a good start to this race. Well, hasn't really gone anywhere since then. Still in the 12th position.
It's almost a matter of time before JT Tinker jumps somebody, though. He's out there, and if you pull up beside him at any given point, you're just likely to get left hooked.
I tell you what, when we're racing in a super speedway tracks, we do a lot of races with JT Tinker. It's going to bring us into our next point, by the way. But yeah, I swear, every time I pull up next to JT Tinker, he just swerves to the left or right, whichever direction I'm in, and he stuffs me.
Now, you mentioned those super speedways. Are we able to say anything?
Yeah, go ahead, Christian. Maybe you can talk about it. I'll pull up. No, I don't have the logo ready.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for a special announcement brought to you by the Roots of 5150. We last Wednesday when the GLSAR had their we had the Dash for No Cash at Daytona International Speedway, the road course. We raced the LMP2s against the NASCAR trucks against the Miatas, and it was a killer race. and it has spawned the dawn of a new era. The Hutchinson Motorsport, excuse me, the 5150, however you want to say it, Roots of 5150 Dash for Cash, brought to you by Hutchinson Motorsports TV, will become a weekly thing here soon. Stay tuned for more details, but only found in the Hutchinson Motorsports TV Discord channel.
Absolutely. You know, Christian brought up some good points there. The Hutchinson Motorsports TV Dash for No Cash, brought to you by the Roots of 5150 Racing. This is a long name, but we're just going to call it the Dash for No Cash usually. But nonetheless, folks, every single week on Friday nights, we're going to have an event. You know, we're going to be rotating from super speedways to road courses to normal ovals, rotating cars. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. The only way to be in it, make sure you're in our Discord. We're going to have the information in there. They're going to be free, live, public sessions, open to the public. So you need to be in the Discord so you know when things are happening. And the Discord information can be found here in the video description tonight. But our first race is going to be this Friday here. And I believe, Christian, is it at Daytona or Talladega?
I believe so. I believe it's at Daytona. And also, there will be a weekly battle. You heard about it on the Friar Medical Center 69. You heard about it in the Miata Melee. And now, to your chance to win and be the reigning, defending, undisputed world champion. Weekly chance to hold that crown.
Here's a quick look at the schedule here. Not the prettiest. I don't really have time to mess with it. But nonetheless, here, we're going to be starting off September 19th at the Daytona Oval. We're going to be in the NASCAR truck, as you can see. The following week, we're going to be at the Indianapolis Oval in the INDYCAR. And then this is going to be real fun, folks. Every third week, we're going to have a multi-class race. We're going to be at Daytona Road. We're going to be INDYCAR GT3s and NASCAR trucks. That is going to be wild. And as you can see, the rotation continues as we go truck, INDYCAR, multi-class throughout the year until the end of the season, December 12th. We're going to close things out at Bristol Dirt in the NASCAR truck. That's going to be interesting to see who runs well in those.
And I'm back in. I had technical difficulties there. I got pulled out of the board aggressively.
Well, we're good to go, though, because I just went through the schedule for everybody. But Alex Buffoli, still your race leader, trying to hold off Nelson. Again, folks, last time we'll mention it. Be sure, head over to our Discord. Join the Discord. That's where we'll have all the information on the Hutchinson Motorsports TV Dash for No Cash. How about Aaron Poplin, though, Christian? Currently running in the 10th position, trying to hold on to that top 10.
He's trying to hold on to the top 10, but if he loses it, he's not going to be too concerned. That's his only concern in the world right now is management.
When how costly was that bad pit stop by Kyle McCoy? Stopped short of his box, waited a couple seconds, wondered why the car wasn't going up, realized what was going on, then he went, ended up losing 5 spots on pit road. He's regained 1 of them since this start, but we know it's tough to pass here. That's going to probably ruin his chances to compete for a win.
Yeah, with less than 100 to go, it is officially go time, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle McCoy is not going to win this one. Is Alex Buffoli, is he in the pit?
Nah, the board always says pit for the leader for some reason. But Nate Lynch, though, sitting here in the 7th position. That Miller Lite blue and white machine running pretty good here in 7th with William Duff, the 4th, right behind him.
Seeing what he's got here. Been a long race for Nate.
Well, it's been a up and down year, you know, pretty good overall, honestly, in the Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Power rankings, got distracted there. He's running pretty well. I believe he was in the top 5 for this series, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely was in the top 10. But he's going to try to continue his path to the top there for the Hutchinson Motorsports TV power rankings, and that's going to get spicy after this week because I believe GLSR is going to make their first arrival on the power rankings board.
They definitely will, and it's going to be a fight to keep an eye out, and a fight that you can only see on Hutchinson Motorsports TV Discord. Again, you know, we've said it 3 times tonight that something is only available on our Discord. Maybe that's where you should be, ladies and gentlemen.
100% agree, and Speaking of that Dash for No Cash series, big shout out Brian Samara. He's been a vital part putting that together. He's kind of taking the charge of this thing. We're helping him out where we can, but Brian Samara kind of controlling the ship for that series. Well, it's not a series. It's just a fun night. No points or tracked or any of that stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, come out and have some fun. If you miss a week, oh well. I mean, you're not going to be behind the ball because there's no ball to be behind. It's just a weekly fight for the reigning defending undisputed world champion.
And Christian, I was talking to Jesse earlier, and he was trying to come out here to broadcast. I said, Jesse, you're not leaving. We got a project for you to work on. I locked him in the basement and said you aren't leaving until this project is done. There's a lot of work left on it.
Definitely. So stay tuned for something. I don't even know if we want to say what it is. I'm gonna leave that up to you if you want to say what it is.
We'll just wait. We'll leave it on the back burner. Just expect some different looking graphics and looks here soon, possibly in the next week or so. But who knows? It might take us a week. It might take us a month. There's no telling. But Aaron Hale is jumping. See what happens.
He's exiting pit road.
Slide job.
And slide job indeed. But it doesn't look like he hit anything.
No, just spun it sideways. Was able to keep it rolling. Tried the green flag stop, didn't work out for him, but Alex Buffoli still out front, but Zachary Nelson trying to reel him in, less than half a second behind him. Christian, I think it's time to go trackside. Let's do some harpoon design, bring the noise, see if we can hear these Indy cars with our cameraman right up on the walls.
Let them rip.
Design, bring the noise down trackside. These Indy cars are ripping around here at Iowa for the Iowa Corn Indy 225.
It's corn. Big lump of not.
It's got the
These
juice.
cars have the juice. William dumped the fourth. He doesn't have the juice.
Oh, you're starting to get in the wall. Look out. Rickard almost junked it. Boy, I tell you what, the GOAT has been struggling here tonight. We've seen him get in the wall a couple times. He just hasn't been in his typical self as Nate Lynch tries to reel him in the battle for the sixth position.
A couple guys who does not have the juice, but who does have the juice here tonight, Blake?
Obviously, Alex Buffoli does. He's led every single lap so far. Zach Nelson's also had a good night. And we've seen Kyle Bolin. He's been essentially in the top three the whole night. Kyle McCoy, he's one of the fastest cars on the track. Just had that terrible pit stop, really caused him. He's going to try to work back up there.
I almost feel like Kyle McCoy could win any race that he wants to, but definitely struggling here tonight, and pit road's going to cost him.
Absolutely. The Morrison, Illinois native, Kyle McCoy, trying to find a way around Bolin right in front of him. But the last car on the lead lap right now looks to be the East Lynn, West Virginian hillbilly, Tommy Osborne.
I guess that's another town we got to look up, man.
Well, I mean, it's in West Virginia. We know there ain't much to it.
Let's see. It is an unincorporated community in West
Shocker.
Virginia.
I think the whole state should be unincorporated, Christian.
In Wayne County, along the banks of the 12 Pole Creek, approximately 8 miles south of the county seat set Wayne. It's the mouth of the Little Lynn.
Christian, rumor has it down in Wayne County, I believe that's the name of it, Wayne City, Wayne County, whatever it is illegal not to marry your sister.
Definitely the case. I'm looking at places to eat, and apparently the only place to eat in the entire town is a place called Christopher Eats. You
Yeah,
know, so,
I'm not going there.
yeah, I don't think you want to. Chicken and biscuit plate, $15 for 2 biscuits and some gravy on it.
That's
Oh
more
my
than the
God.
annual salary for most of the people in East Lynn.
It is. Oh my goodness.
But I'll tell you, somebody who doesn't have a bad place to live, that's this 77, Larry Griffin III. I tell you what, he's slow. He's junk here tonight, but he don't care. He's got that big smile on his face because he gets to go back to Cornelius, North Carolina tonight.
He is one of the people that is living in luxury down there on Lake Norman, Cornelius, North Carolina.
Boy, we just have a big disparity of racers here, Christian. We got guys like Larry Griffin living the life of luxury. Well, we got guys like Kyle Bowling out of Malcolm, Nebraska. He's probably living in a shack downtown there, in Malcolm, Nebraska.
Don't forget the guy that lives, yeah, that is the village. You know, they all have to work together to feed everybody. It truly takes a village.
Absolutely. We got some battles up here as Nelson trying to get around some lap traffic. Wants to keep that race leader in his sights, and I believe these guys are still going to have to pit one more time as we pull up the Hutchinson Motorsport TV pit strategy board. They've already got 47 laps on this tank. There's no way they're going to get to the finish, so they're going to need to pit one more time.
It looks like there's always conveniently a caution right there when it's time for somebody to pit.
That's how it seems so far, but these guys are probably going to stay out there as long as they can, just hoping for that caution. But I kind of hope it stays green. I'd love to see a set of green flag stops to finish this race out because these guys could come down anytime, likely. So it really depends on how you want to roll the dice. You know, if you want to pit early, maybe short pit, there's not a big fall off, but there is a little of one, you know, about a 3 to 4/10 of a second fall off. So you could short pit right now, and if it stays green, you'll be sitting pretty at the end. But if the caution comes out, you are done for.
If you're one of the leaders, your pit stop is going to be crucial. And you know, pitting and iRacing, you all have the same pit time, but what matters is getting on and off.
Especially going in here in these Indy cars. A lot of guys, they slow down too early in these Indy cars because these things can kind of stop on a dime. As Buffoli trying to hold on to the lead, Nelson looking to the inside. Well, we know that's going to be tough to finish that race.
So I see Cody Moore in the chat. He says he joins into the stream of us making fun of small town life. Give us your town. We'll give an honest, unfiltered opinion about it. But you know, we don't just trash every time. We started to trash Cornelius until we realized how good it was.
Yeah, you know, Cody, that was a bit here. You know, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks ago, we saw this guy right here from Cornelius, North Carolina. They were here in the third, started to trash it, saying it was probably a dump. Me and Christian looked it up. It was a nice place to live. And then Larry let us know the next week property values soared after we gave a shout out to Cornelius, North Carolina.
It's definitely one of the key destinations in North Carolina. Charlotte, forget about it. Raleigh, where? Cornelius is the place to be.
Now, here's somebody, you know, I've known Chad White now here probably for 3 years. I've never once looked up Loudon, Tennessee. Let's take a look. Loudon, Tennessee, population 6,000. I mean, it's at least got something. So I'll say it's just your average small town. So no bashing on Chad White's hometown. I'm sure it's not nice, but it's not the worst.
They have a Bojangles, so I mean,
there it is. That's all you need.
I mean, it's right next to the Wendy's and the La Quinta Inn and Suites. So
Burchett down pit road
town right now, and here comes the start of the pit cycles.
Good call by Burchett there. He really, I mean, he was running, I don't know, let's say he was running 8th to 10th or so before he comes down pit road. Maybe short pit these guys. Again, there is a little bit of tire fall off, like 0.3 of a second. Not a ton, but it can add up, and we got some more down pit road. Tommy Osborne down pit road. Burchett leaving pit road. Alex Buffoli, your race leader, for the first time gives up that race lead. This is the first lap he hasn't led. So, boy, this is a real gamble for Buffoli. Coming down pit road before any of the other leaders. Nelson down now as well. Oh, look out!
Oh, no, gonna goes around. Coming on the pit road, he's gonna spin onto the track. Keeps it down.
Oh,
we stay green.
Well, I mean, he's not going to lose a crazy amount of time because he was entering pit road, but it's definitely going to hurt. He was in second before, not going to be in second once he comes off pit road as Kyle Bowling takes over your race lead now. Foley leaving pit road right now. He's going to fall, what, 2 laps down? Yeah, 2 laps down you fall when you pit here. That is tough. If a caution comes out, you are cooked.
Definitely so. You'll be trapped at least 1 lap down. You might get a wave around, but it ain't going to help you.
Yeah, so Kyle
Cody
Bowling.
in the chat talks about Lackland, Illinois.
Let's take a look here one second.
The list to look up. Population 1,838.
I doubt they have a Bojangles in a town of 1,000.
There are no Bojangles. The nearest one is in Normal.
And Cody Moore in the chat, you know that. And by the way, those watching, Mighty Donut in the chat, that's Cody Moore. So excuse us for calling him by his name. We just known him for years. But nonetheless, Kyle Bowling. We talked about Malcolm, Nebraska earlier. Cody, you missed it. Let me pull this up one more time for you. This is kind of what got us on the track here of looking at these small towns. Will we see Kyle Bowling here from Malcolm, Nebraska? We'll take a look at his beautiful town, Malcolm, Nebraska. And that is not Photoshopped. That is downtown Malcolm, Nebraska on Lincoln Street. This place is a dump, is it not?
It definitely is. I mean, look at that truck. And let me just comment. I'm gonna comment in the chat. No, Danielle, we're not going to Bojangles.
At least they got liquor, cigarettes, and groceries. Honestly, Christian, that's where I want to get my groceries. Somewhere that sells liquor and cigarettes.
No, don't come to North Carolina. We have a monopoly in North Carolina called ABC stores. You can only buy liquor from, state-owned liquors.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And Kyle McCoy down pit road. He's right front is junk. He must have wrecked. See what happened. We're still green, by the way, folks. Let's rewind this here.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Did he hit it yet?
No, he's clean there, so I think he came in the pit road and junked it.
Yeah, he must have smoked the pit wall here. Pit wall sneaky. Wham!
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Man, that thing is mangled. He's done. Scott Rickard, the GOAT, takes over the race lead. He's going to hope for a caution. That's really the only chance he's got at winning this thing. It's been an okay night for Scott, but an okay night for most is a terrible night for the GOAT. He's been around 5th or 6th all night long, which is just not normal for the 05.
Not. The GOAT is definitely not the GOAT here tonight.
Kyle Bowling takes it down pit road, as well as Zach Kreitz as well. So Alex Buffoli, he was the first to pit of our leaders, was our race leader at the time, actually. Currently in the 5th position as he gets around Kyle Bowling. Bowling comes off pit road.
Caution.
Caution is out.
Caution is out harder than a wall.
Zach Nelson.
Who was that?
Zach Nelson.
Nelson is jumped.
Boy, he junked it going on the pit road. Let's see what he did here. Yep, slide job.
Oh, contact.
Oh, gosh, almost got steamrolled. He toes it.
Zach Nelson has let Chick-fil-A down. They are not happy.
Big break for Scott Rickard. There's only 4 on the lead lap that hadn't pit. Christian, it's Scott Rickard, William Duff, Aaron Poplin, and Nate Lynch. So Buffoli, he's gonna, he's gonna get his lap back, but he's still gonna be behind those top 4.
There's only gonna be 3 cars on the lead lap after this wave around. That's gonna be insane. Well, counting the ones that's pitting, excuse me. So there'll be more than that, but 3 cars that gets the wave. Yeah. 7
on the lead lap after this stop. These guys, again, these 4 catch a big break. Rickard, Duff, Poplin, and Lynch. Again, Buffoli, Bowling, and Estrie going to get the wave around, get on the lead lap, but they're going to be behind these 3 coming down pit road.
Is this
4.
what Scott needed to, the GOAT? Can he keep the lead off of pit road? And
Christian, it is tough. It is tough to pass. There's only going to be 30 laps left once we get going. I like the GOAT's chances. He's going to get 4 fresh tires on that thing, get it out front in the clean air. He can control the line, and he'll have a good shot to win this race now. Might go from 0 to hero after this strategy.
And we're gonna look dumb saying that he was slow, saying that he didn't have it tonight. But
Hey,
maybe this was.
to be
his
fair,
plan the
I
entire
did
time.
say just about 2 laps ago, he's hoping for a caution, and he luckily got it for him. So we're going to see if it plays out here. We know that the 08 of Buffoli, he's definitely got some speed. He's dominated most of this race, but let's see if he can get around some traffic. He hasn't had to deal with any cars in front of him yet. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in a moment here. Hutchison Motorsport TV, the world's #1 streaming service. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to the channel. We will be right back. And we are back here at Iowa for the Iowa Corn Indy 225. 225 laps here around Iowa Speedway. The GOAT, Scott Rickard, pulls off the mastermind strategy, takes over the race lead. Can he hold on? We know it's tough to pass, but the pace car is in. Field is set. The fans on their feet, off their seats. Green flag in the air at Iowa.
Green flag indeed. Scott Rickard off like lightning. We only have 33 laps to decide as William Duff IV in second. You see Nate Lynch making a pass on the Chad White on the bottom. Later on in the field, you see Cal Bowling battling the 3 other cars.
Well, I'm not sure how this happened, Christian, but Buffoli's still a lap down. Those guys did not get a wave around somehow. Must have got pinned behind the pace car. I have no clue how that happened.
No, you know what? iRacing. I don't think there's wave arounds in IndyCar. That might be a rule. Hold on, let me look. Oh, no wave arounds on. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely would have passed those guys pitting, but nonetheless, though, Scott Rickard out front, he's even got a better chance now. Just 5 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Bowman rounding out the top 5, makes the pass on Lynch. Oh, look out!
Oh, no, there he goes!
Ryan Lynch is jumped. He might be dead. We're still green,
the
bro.
G-forces alone killed him.
Yeah, just all those G-forces there. Didn't even hit the wall, but he's hurting. Boy, how about William Duff IV? Still in a top 3 here tonight. Boy, this guy had basically no speed out here, Christian. And here he is in second.
Is that saying Aaron Poplin's in third?
And now we know Aaron is the GOAT. I am not surprised at all. You know, honestly, I'm more surprised he hasn't won yet this year.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid point.
It's on. Go hop on the right rear suspension cam. Aaron Poplin. He's got Hooters slapped onto the car. He's trying to hold off Kyle Bowling. He wants to get that podium finish.
Cal Bowling, that's who stayed out. He has 15 laps on his tires.
Oh,
and
so he cost him.
everybody else has 11. Yep, Cody was
You know
right in the
what?
chat.
Kyle Bowling I believe, is teammates with Scott Rickard. There might be a little bit of strategy involved here to keep those guys a lap down.
Yep, he definitely told him to stay out. That is, you just saw manufacturer's orders happen live.
Yeah, look over in the Bronze Horse Garage chat here on the Stars and Stripes Discord, and none other than Kyle Bowling in the chat with Scott Rickard. So manufacturer's shenanigans are going on. Scott Rickard, the GOAT, gonna pull off the win most likely unless he stuffs it into the wall.
That's right. Connor Gerard in the chat says 24 laps to go. Now 23. Scott Rickard with a commanding 2-second lead. Can he hold it up? Can we stay clean? Can we stay green for 22 more laps?
Connor, I got one question for you and one question for you only. Is this not intense?
I think this is some intense racing.
Boy, Connor Gerard, if you're new here, folks, he is the biggest fan of Hutchinson Motorsports TV. This guy will never miss a stream. I tell you what, one time, actually multiple times, we have done multi-streams where me and Jesse both were streaming at the same time on the channel. Connor Gerard, he pulled out an old tablet, blew off the dust, and he watched both of the streams at the same time. It was incredible. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Almost as beautiful as corn. You know, a big lump of nuts.
It does have the juice, Christian.
Definitely has the juice.
Aaron Poplin gives up that coveted top 3, drops back to 4th.
I mean, did you expect it to happen? Did you expect Aaron Poplin to finish top 3?
Not at all. Alex
That
Buffoli.
anime is just too good.
He's hoping for a caution. It wouldn't really matter, though, because nobody's going to pit. Oh, and somebody smokes the wall. Chris said, oh, it wasn't. Never mind. Somebody allowed down.
He don't know what he's doing, ladies and gentlemen, so.
Rickard holding on to the
Scott
bottom.
Rickard.
Look how far out he is. He's 3.5 seconds ahead. I tell you what, Scott did not have this speed all night long, but everything falls into place. When you're the GOAT, you know, when you need a little luck, which isn't often, you can get it usually.
Do you need luck, or do you just need a great teammate that'll, you know, sacrifice his race for you?
That doesn't hurt either.
You know, Cal McCoy was 2 laps down, so he was practically out of the race. So his teammate Cal McCoy, it wouldn't hurt him. So look at this go. I mean, this is manufactured racing.
Well, I will say, though, Kyle Bowen, he's holding on to 2nd. So they're going to end up 1-2 here with that strategy. So maybe staying out on those old tires wasn't such a crazy move.
They knew that the only way that they were going to beat Alex Buffoli was to trap him a lap down.
Well done, indeed. Aaron Poplin, he's back to 3rd here. We must have missed somebody coming down. Oh, Zach Kreitz pitting under green. Not sure what happened there.
He's 8 laps down now.
Yeah, he must have pulled it in. I don't know. Must have been in a wreck or something. Oh, yeah, he crashed. Let's see what happened. Here's a replay. No, he just goes into pit road. Huh. He missed it, too.
Oh, that's what done it. And, you know, instead of just going around and he toes. Man, I would have just drove around it, but less.
That's kind of odd. I don't think he needed to pit there. I'm pretty sure he was good on fuel, wasn't he?
I believe so. Is he still on the track?
I don't know. He's probably done. He jumped to the pits. He towed it, so most likely he's not out there. But Scott Rickard, the GOAT, out front. 11 laps remain this time around in front of a sold-out crowd. He's not only going to win this race, he's going to dominate it. He's out front almost 4 seconds right now.
Absolutely. As he comes around this time, just 10 laps remain here at Iowa Speedway. His elbows are out on the 7/8 mile track here. Every corner counts at the fastest short track on the planet, as they tend to call it.
I think that's totally made up. That's the biggest lie. That is the biggest lie I've heard ever since, wait, was it Fox that advertised INDYCAR is the fastest racing on earth?
Definitely so.
It's
And,
not true.
It definitely fits the lie, being this was designed by Rusty Wallace, you know, who thinks that no one can compete with the drivers of the day at that time, and We've already talked about it.
Hey, Christian, I'm sure, you know, drivers nowadays, if they gotten in Rusty Wallace's car but back in the late 80s, they just would have probably peed their pants and just started crying, and they would have pulled over. There's no way they could have even finished the race, you know, because Rusty Wallace, he's just the greatest of all time. Ask him.
He's the, you know, he probably thinks he is.
I don't even know how he won a championship. I kind of feel like kind of a field filler there most of his career there near the end.
So out of 706 starts, Rusty Wallace has only brought it to victory lane 55 times, 36 poles. So that's not the best percentages when you think about it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I will say he raced some stiff competition there near the end, but he was definitely no Dale Earnhardt out there. He wasn't a bum. But he needs to relax a little bit, know his role. You know, Rusty, you were a field filler for a long time before you retired. But we jump around here. William Duff, the fourth, sitting in the fourth position. Going to get a top 5 run. And I said earlier, you know, the 3 Duffs before him are all in the stands tonight. They are hooting and hollering. They're slamming beers. Then they're eating corn. Christian, I went down the concession stand. They're giving out free, what do they call them? Knobs of corn.
They're called cobs, Blake.
Whatever.
Going on the cob. Tell you're not from the South.
I'm pretty close to it, but nonetheless, you know, Duff the fourth, he's pulling off a good run. Just 2 laps remain. The GOAT, Scott Rickard, out front. Let's hop on board with the 05. Scott Rickard, this time around, going to take the white flag.
And the crowd stands to their feet for one final time around. 1 lap to decide here in Newton, Iowa, which it's pretty much already decided unless Scott trips and falls, you know. I'm going to hand it over to you, Blake.
Down the back stretch into 3 and 4 for the final time with a strategy call to help him. It pays off. Checkered flag in the air. Scott Rickard wins the Iowa Corn Indy 225. How about Aaron Poplin getting a top 3 finish, Christian? I never thought we'd have to talk to Aaron, but here we are. Podium finish. Unbelievable.
Aaron,
Witness greatness.
He's probably going to try to talk to us in Japanese, but we'll still try to get
Christian,
him in here anyway.
I'm surprised he's not doing a burnout after that top 3 finish. I don't think he planned on finishing top 3 here tonight, but what a run for Aaron Poplin. You have just witnessed the greatest run in motorsport history by the 63 of Aaron Poplin. Wow.
You know, right now, if you go to Hooters, you could buy a 12-piece wing combo, and you get another one for the cost of a 12-piece wing combo.
Well, exactly. And the promo is, you know, since he's number 63, it's you can get 3 meals for $63 at Hooters. All thanks to Aaron Poplin.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, what a deal. I mean, I'm hearing that people are flying into Hooters right now, as I think it's time we give him a little chat. What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead, pull him in. You know, I don't know which broadcasting room to send him to.
I will take care of it. Actually, I can't. Can I? Oh, there it goes. I got it. Ladies and gentlemen, your 3rd place finisher here tonight. We're going to remind him to speak in English to us, not the anime language. Aaron, how do you feel?
I'm so fucking pumped.
He is excited here, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa!
Boy, it was a great race for you. You know, the caution there at the end helped you out, but you were running top 10 most of the night.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about this track. I just felt really comfortable the whole time. Unlike the last few weeks, tire wear really wasn't getting to me. I just staying long on that final, before that last caution really solidified that finish for me.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, Aaron, were you able to witness your boss man, Brian Samara, pull off the greatest move of Stars and Stripes history when he spun out under caution?
I did not see that. I actually saw my other teammate spin out under caution.
Oh, man.
And almost collide into me.
Wow, there's I guess that setup must have been pretty loose under caution or something, huh?
Yeah, you put a little brake in there and spin her around.
Absolutely. But hey, Christian, what else did you see out of this 63 machine, Aaron Poplin, after he gets his career best finish here in the Stars and Stripes series?
Yeah, just there at the end, we saw who we thought was a guaranteed winner, Alex Buffoli, get trapped a lap down thanks to Cal Bowling not pitting. Did you were you with that strategy to just stay out and hope for a caution? Is that what happened here tonight?
I kind of felt that the lap time fall off wasn't enough to risk a caution coming out. So my plan was to pit as late as possible the whole time.
Yeah, and it tended to work out for you. So we're gonna ask you, do you have any shout outs before we send you back down to your BCI crew?
Well, I gotta make a shout out to the boss man, Brian. I gotta make a shout out to Amtrak. Finally got this train on track with the first top 10, first top 5 of the season. So, feel pretty stoked.
Hey, as you should, Aaron, pulling off the podium run here at Iowa. This town and state might be a dump, but it has to feel a little bit better with you parking it on the podium.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there's Aaron Poplin, our third place finisher tonight. It is time to talk to Kyle Bolin, our second place finisher. Kyle, Blake, and Christian in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, pull off a second place finish there. The caution at the end might have helped you guys out, but it works out.
No, I didn't need that caution. This one hurts. I'm not gonna lie. This one really hurts. I think we really had a win there if we don't have a caution there. I think I had him covered, but yeah, it's just how it works out. I mean, that was a lot of angry driving there after that caution to get back up to second for sure.
Yeah, definitely seemed like you put the work in there to get back up to second. Christian, what did you see here out of the 44 of Kyle Bolin?
You said you might have the win if the caution didn't come out, and that might have been the case. But you stayed out, and it actually trapped a handful of people a lap down, including somebody who dominated the entirety of Alex Buffoli. So you're saying that was not part of the plan? It was just how it fell?
Oh yeah, no, I had no awareness of that. I was fully focused on the fact that I was a lap down at that point, and there was I mean, me staying out as long as I did, yeah, there really wasn't any I was just I was kind of waiting for the caution to happen, and I got to 5 laps of gas left. I'm like, let's just go for it, because I saw the top 2 had already had some sort of problem on their pit stop. So I was like, okay, let's go for it. And then Scott, which we're in the same chat and everything, he's like, well, I'm gonna go a couple more laps, stay out and lead a lap. And I was like, well, that's what you do. But I was like, man, if we stay green, I think we had things covered. But it's just it's good we got back to second. A lot of times it doesn't work out that way when you get trapped like that. But yeah, it worked out with it did work out with a caution that I think the 08 got. He got an incident for that, so I think I got the lucky dog because of that. Cause I think he did get past me, but I'm not sure how it all worked out. I guess grateful to get back to second, but man, what could have been.
Absolutely, great run once again. You and your teammate, the 1-2 finish here, and Kyle, we did some research. We saw you were from Malcolm, Nebraska. We kind of looked things up, and boy, what a town.
I mean, there's not much there. I mean, we got a good school. That's about it. But
all right.
And we got and we have the high school is our mascot was Clippers. We're boats, and we're landlocked. I mean, we got 2 lakes nearby, but we're landlocked.
All right.
So.
Hey, that's some good good information for us to have next time. But hey, congratulations though on the second place finish here tonight, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Kyle Bolin, the Malcolm, Nebraska native, parks it in second place. But it is time to talk to the man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction. Let's get him in here. Scott, Blake, and Christian up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Boy, I tell you what, you seem to find a way to win the race no matter what. You're running around 5th all night long. Caution comes out, helps you out, and you end up winning it by about 4 seconds.
Yeah, I just kind of knew I was going to go long any time tonight. There was green flag pit stop just in case there was a yellow, and we finally got the green flag pit stops and got the yellow.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just so hard to pass out there, especially out front.
Yeah, every time I was before I got to clean air, I was like, it took you 30, 40 laps before you could have any tire advantage where you could get made catch somebody and passed them. And then I went up to the front, and then at the front there, I'm like, wow, this thing turns so much better when you get clean air.
Yeah, it kind of seemed after 30 laps or so, some of those guys started getting tight and maybe into the wall a little bit, coming out of the corners occasionally.
Yeah, I did that in the first run. I overdrove 3 and 4 apparently from the rest of the race I did, and realized that about 3 laps in, I was going backwards, and like this is not good.
Well, boy, like I said, though, 100 150 laps into this race, it's kind of looked like it was Buffoli's race to win, dominated the whole thing. But you hung around there the best you could while you were struggling, and then at the end pulled away. Christian, what'd you see out of Scott Rickard here tonight?
You know, just a strategy performance that brought him up to the front. You know, we actually, we have to be honest with you. We thought you wasn't going to be able to pull it off, but thanks to the green flag strategy and actually a couple cars being trapped a lap down, you were able to hold it off tonight. So a big congratulations to you, Scott. And we're going to give you a chance to thank any of your supporters.
I got to thank Team Watson Race Ups. I passed James Watson from there a couple times, well, twice this year. This one I forgot to ask him, ironically, and it's the one I did the best in, I guess. About helping his car because I don't drive it, and he does. So I got definitely thank him for the little bit extra help I got from tips from him and my team and my dog too.
Yeah, but say you can't forget about the dog.
I won't.
Yeah, you never do. But hey, Scott parking it in victory lane once again. How many wins you got now this season?
4. I think I've won once in each car now.
That is impressive. You know, again, for our fans at home, we're rotating cars every week between 4 different cars, and he's apparently won in every single one of them. So great to see. You know, we're getting down. We're about halfway done with the season, maybe one race over halfway, but has to be feeling good. Probably going into the playoffs here shortly, I'd assume. But I'd assume you'll be either first or second in the points by the time we head into the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll probably be me and McCoy. Well, most of the time we're pretty much even with each other, so we'll see when we get there.
All right, yeah, for sure should be a great battle. But hey, congratulations, though, once again, Scott, pulling off win number 4, we believe, of the season.
Thank you.
There's the GOAT himself, folks. It's not a coincidence he's earned the nickname the GOAT, Scott Rickard. I tell you what, this guy, he just finds a way to win. I mean, again, he definitely lucked out with the caution there at the end, but he did what he needed to do to have himself there at that point, and it just worked out. So he parks it in victory lane once again here at Iowa for the Iowa Corn Indy 225. Christian, by the end of this race, what do you rate it?
I'm going to give it, and you know, it wasn't the most jam-packed race, but it wasn't terrible either. The strategy at the end definitely gave it a big shake-up that we didn't expect. You know, this was Alex Buffoli's race to win, and at the end, it just did not work out for him. So, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's above average, but, you know, just at the end of the day, it was Iowa. You can't make Iowa much too big and fancy.
Well, I mean, it is the fastest short track on the planet, though. I mean, it says it on the wall.
It's just about like INDYCARs, the fastest racing on the
Yeah, I mean, when you put the fastest track and the fastest cars, I mean, it's got to be a great race. But, hey, I'd mostly agree with you, Christian. I'm maybe a 6.5 at the highest. But, again, it's just tough to pass here. INDYCAR at Iowa. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a little better. You know, for what we had, though, it turned out pretty good. You know, I mean, again, this race had no chance to be a banger 10 out of 10. So, I mean, these guys definitely put on a great show for what they had to work with. But, again, Scott Rickard, the GOAT, pulls off the win here in that number 05 Tire Pros machine. He's your winner. Kyle Bowling second, and the shocker of the night, Aaron Poplin, landed on the podium with the 3rd place finish. What a night.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for next Tuesday night Stars and Stripes Racing League. We're going to be heading over to the Windy, did they call it the Windy? Yeah, the Windy City 200 for the Chicagoland Speedway in the Gen 4 Cup car. But, ladies and gentlemen, also do not forget tomorrow night we have the GLSR Truck Series racing. Stay tuned for that. I'm not sure track.
That's going to be Lime Rock. We're going to be going road course racing.
Lime Rock, you got you know, a beautiful facility there. Can't even tell you where it's at, but it's always a fun track to race, but pretty narrow, so not going to be very truck friendly.
Yeah, I ripped it around that track. I believe it was in a GT4. I don't know how the trucks are going to get around there, but hey, they do it in real life, so I'm sure these guys here in the Stars and Stripes series will figure it out. But once again, a great night here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV, the world's #1 streaming service. Be sure, folks, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out our Discord. We got all kinds of stuff going on. You want to keep up to tune with the Hutchinson Motorsports TV Power Rankings, and we're starting up this Friday. Every single Friday, we're going to have the HMS TV Dash for no cash. Great rotating series. We got different cars, track factors, all kinds of different stuff going on, so you're going to want to check that out. But nonetheless, we appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here, dropping a comment in the chat, liking the video, and subscribing, all that good stuff. But that's going to round out the evening for us here at Iowa Tonight in the booth with Christian Taylor signing off. Blake Hutchinson. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a message from Larry McReynolds himself. Then we're going to close out the night with the Hutchinson Motorsports TV theme song.
Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
42 right there with him. Smokes him. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the whole field is junk. It's a parking lot. They door slam each other. Checkered flag in the air. It's going to be too close to call. Oh, he just got smoked. Oh, my goodness. Turned. He got dumped in racing. Caution is out. We saw a lot. Oh, he's dead. Toward each other with their junks and checkered flag in the air.